Okay, we're back. We're laid out the paper template for making the riser. Basically, it's, you know, the big flat pattern. The X's are everything you're going to cut out. These are going to be breaks where we're going to bend it. We're going to have 3/4 inch little flanges on 3 sides, nothing on the bottom of the front. And we, of course, are cutting it down for padding thickness, right? I mean, we built this right to the size with the padding and everything because it's a mock-up, right? So we went ahead and took all the measurements, we added it all up, laid it all out. And now we're going to go ahead and cut it out. We're going to transfer it to a permanent template. This is something you can, you hang on to. Over here, I got pretty much, everything we've used so far on the Briggsy cart, right? Man, I get this whole radiator deal for the fuel tanks, the plastic to hold the Margay tanks on the F-125. It's for my hanger to hold my suit. Yeah, I made my own hanger for my suit. You keep all this stuff in case you want to replicate it again. There's the bearing hanger for the Briggsy, right? So I mean, you hang on to this stuff, and if you ever need to make another one, you've got a working template. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and cut this out real quick. I just wanted you to see what it looks like, so you got an idea of what's going on, how you lay that stuff out, and then cutting out the bits you don't need. You're saying, why didn't you just draw it right on the poster board? Because if you screw it up, you've got lines on there that could, they could confuse you later on down the line, You just want nice, clean pieces that are pretty self-explanatory, where to bend it, where to cut it, where to notch it, whatever. You also gotta, when you use this, if you're using a single sheet of paper, the material we're using is 1/8 inch. So when you're bending this stuff, you have to keep in mind that the material thickness is going to come into play. And I'll show you in a minute, once I get this thing cut out, how to avoid one leg being longer than another, or you not getting it dimensionally the way you want it. With using 1/8 inch material, it's obviously could be 1/4 inch different in width or height or whatever if you're not careful how you bend this stuff. Now in our instance here, the width of this thing from side to side isn't nearly as important as the height, right? The height, you want to get the height right. Especially one side to the other. We want them exactly the same. So, you literally, when you start bending, you start in the middle and work your way out. Except for one bit would be these 3/4 inch little flanges that we're going to bend in here. So we're going to put rib nuts on the inside of them, rivet nuts. And we'll put bolts up from underneath that flat platform that's part of the seat, so you won't see any of the hardware or anything. It'll all be hidden away. Now, we didn't have to use a protractor for angles or anything here. How did we figure this out? It was simple enough. After we removed the 1/2 inch of height for our foam that's going to go on the top, we wanted to remove it from the bottom because we actually wanted to make this shorter. As you can see from the lines, it was actually a little longer than that fiberglass platform that's part of the seat. So we needed to make it a little shorter anyway. So by bringing it up with an angle, guess what? That's right, we're ending up making it shorter. So we took our 1/2 inch off. From our notes, we know it was 2 1/4 high. So we went 2 1/4 all the way around, 2 1/4 down from our bend. Actually, we measured from the seam in here to our projected 1/2 inch off line, and it's, I think, 2 3/8. No, it's 2 3/4. So you take 2 3/4 when you're laying this out. I'm sure you can see that. You take your 2 3/4 length here, you bring it right over to this break line, and you go 2 3/4 all the way around until it meets the break line that you're going to put into your 3/4 inch return, which is going to go under. So it's basic geometry, man, and I'm not even good at math or anything, but it's just basic stuff. So we'll take this, and it looks like this particular piece is going to work for this setup too. It's about the same height, 2 1/4, with the 1/2 inch foam on the top, because as you see, it's relatively the same size. I know with the deeper seat, it should have been a little shorter. And to be completely honest, I think what I'll do is I'll lay 2 of these out on the aluminum, and we'll go ahead and mark these lines in the aluminum. But I'll probably end up making the one for the F125 just a hair shorter. We'll bend, instead of 3/4, we'll bend a 7/8 return, which would take us down an 1/8 inch, just to be sure. Because if it's too tall, once those returns are bent in there, you really can't make it any shorter without cutting it and then having to weld it and all that stuff. The whole idea is trying to avoid the welding. So we'll bring you some more of this once we get it all done. But we made a change to this piece, and we'll show you that in the next video as well once we get them transferred. See you soon.